And we welcome you to the SMX Insider post-race show. Podium celebration still yet to come in the 450 class. Look for some champagne to go flying. If they've got anything left. They got to hold the trophies up too. I'm serious. Have you had days where you're like, dude, this trophy's big. I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah, this is the time I left the trophy on the stand.
It happened once.
Oh, it's happened. Yeah, I just sit there, kind of like Hunter's doing. I wouldn't even pick it up. There've been a few times I've been up there and picked that trophy up because Ricky had to pick it up. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, you got to show out.
Gotta show out.
Yeah, these guys are tired.
That's when you know you're tired. You just sit it right here.
Yeah. Just hold it on my hip a little bit. I like holding the baby there on the hip. Well, this is the whole thing. After a while, okay, we know Jet Lawrence had a big crash. But really, as we look at this as a whole, this is not just Jet crashed in one round and he's been dominant ever since. He's still winning the overalls. But even going back to the 1-1 at Fox Raceway, it has been competitive throughout.
Yeah, it's been competitive, and to me, it just seems like it's not shocking because Chase Sexton, although Jet won them all last year, he didn't run away from them. It wasn't like he was getting beat by 30 seconds. So, you know, Jet was able to carry that momentum, and it was Chase was able to figure out how to, once he got around Jet, hold on to the lead. Like, he knew he had the speed. This year, it seems like he's more consistent at that, and he's been fast. So, yeah, Chase Sexton should be able to beat Jet. He should have races like this, and for some reason he hasn't been able to do it. But yeah, we got to fight, Jay.
We do.
We got to fight. And for people who was thinking this is going to be a runaway, here it is. We got to fight, and here it is, putting on full display, and got a three-rider fight at that.
Yeah, so we'll show you the highlights from the 450 class. Here's what it looked like. The WIC 338, Southwick, Massachusetts, Moto 1. The Lawrence brothers are unreal on these starts. It's going to be Jet knifing to the inside of Hunter.
Yep, Jet got up the inside. Hunter got there first. Huge hole shot. He was so far up front, just ran a little bit deep. And then Jet got up front like he's been doing and put on a clinic on how to ride the sand and how to manage a race. And it was up to everyone else to try to catch him. They couldn't do it.
Hunter kept it close for a while. Jet managed it well, and they put distance between themselves and Sexton. And that was really about it for this one. It's a good battle here between Harry Kulas, Alvin Ostlund, rider from Estonia, rider from Sweden. Yeah. Ostlund tries to make the pass here.
Yeah, he tried making a pass a couple times and ended up wasn't able to get around Harry, and he falls over. Tough break for him. Anytime you fall in the sand, you're just like, oh, that bike's heavy, it's smoking. You're probably smoking underneath that helmet from how hot it was. And then you had the fever. Speaking of hot, there it is. He comes in and gives Harry a little bump. Right there after you got the baseball signal from Big J over there. Hey, you better pick it up. I don't know who that is, but you better pass him, son. And Malcolm was able to do it, kept continuing up.
Oh, your dad's pumped.
Third place of that race, so good job by him. But man of the day has been the man of the year so far. The #1 plate right there.
Yeah, this looked like it was going to be another one of those days. Jet Lawrence pulls away, 4th Moto win in a row. And he had the weekend off before this, so we're thinking the shoulder and all the injuries from the big crash at Hangtown were starting to heal up. But Moto 2, it's just does not look like a guy who's enthused about another 30+2 here.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, they know it's going to be a tough race. But to me, like listening to him on the podium talking about his legs, that's probably what that was. So it wasn't necessarily his shoulder, it's his legs, and being hurt made him use his legs more. But look, he was out front and wasn't
massive first turn crash.
Yeah, huge first corner crash that got Justin Barsha, my brother, a lot of guys. Jason Anderson was down in that. So looked like Jet Lawrence, just like the first moto, was going to be able to manage his way around some of those issues that he might have had and pull away. But then Chase Sexton wanted to get one Lawrence, got on the inside of Hunter Lawrence, made it an aggressive pass, clean pass, just an aggressive one. Hunter thought by going up the inside, he thought better of it. And then Chase Sexton set his sights after Jet Lawrence.
And then Hunter comes back.
Then Hunter didn't like that. He thought he would go up, and Hunter was really fast there. I think Chase Sexton picked up on that later on in the race, but then Hunter Lawrence got that toe, and it seems like when guys got the rhythm, they were able to keep that going, and Hunter just kept going and got around his old younger brother and Jet.
And at this point, Hunter was in position to get his first ever 450 overall win in Pro Motocross and stretch the points lead that he already has but this race was far from over.
Yeah, it was far from over. Like, Hunter pulled away, and then Jet just stayed there. Hunter went off the racetrack, allowed Jet to close in on him, and then he made the move. And at that point, Chase Sexton was still about 6-7 seconds behind him. And the next thing you know, the number 4 just came roaring up. First, he gets around Hunter Lawrence with a grown man pass over here, goes around the outside of him. Hunter tried getting there, but this little off-camera chase was not to be denied. And why not go after the other guy? Your nemesis and Jet Lawrence, and boy, he was coming. He must have saw Hayden Degan, how he was doing it. He flew around the outside. Jet Lawrence jumps out, tries to catch him again, but Jet Lawrence didn't have anything for Chase Sexton at this moto. Chase was going.
So Chase, a big second moto win, but with the third in Moto 1, he only ends up 3-1, and Jet Lawrence is going to go 1-2, and that'll be enough to preserve the overall win. 3 straight overalls, Thunder Valley, High Point, and Southwick for the number 1. And they got to give Sexton the props for that one. These guys were pretty smoked at the end, and Sexton had the strength down the stretch. And you look at the overall results here. It's championship points scored total that determine the overall. And Jet with the 1-2 scored the most today. Hunter is 3rd, Justin Cooper, Dylan Ferrandis, they swapped 4th and 5th in the motos and overall as well. This is the Pro Motocross 450 points. This is unbelievable, James. 3 points separating the top 3.
That's just a moto win. I mean, moto win between those guys, that's at 3 points. But
yeah,
to me, the biggest winners, I mean, actually all 3 of them won today. I mean, I don't think Hunter Lawrence should hold his head down. He rode good. Jet Lawrence, I mean, he got the overall, and Chase Sexton recovered after that first moto. So for him, I mean, I know he didn't get the overall, but that second moto is just as good as far as the confidence.
Well, you know, one factor last year in the perfect season for Jet Lawrence, remember, Chase Sexton was on him in the first race of the year last year and then got hurt, and he missed about 4 rounds. He got close at times. If you're Sexton, can you start telling yourself, like, look, this year I just stayed in it. I could have been there last year also. Last year's results don't equate to this year.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, it doesn't hurt to say that.
Yeah.
I actually think Chase Sexton's riding better this year.
Okay.
You know, to be honest, like, and I think Jet Lawrence is riding better. I think he's stronger than he was last year. Chase Sexton's elevated, just all these guys have. So for him, I didn't see the same person. Even though Chase was fast last year and he was faster than Jet a few times, it wasn't like this. This time it seems like if Chase would just not hit the ground, or if he was able to get around him earlier, he can actually beat him. The biggest thing that I noticed between the two is that this year it seems like when Chase's bike is not on, that he's a lot farther off, where last year he was kind of always there.
Yeah. This
year when he's on, the dude goes 10 seconds almost faster than a lap, and he has those moments. And last year he didn't have that speed. So even though he's better, the fluctuation is a little bit different. But Chase Sexton's right there. He's 3 points, and I think he's got way more confidence this year racing Jet Lawrence, and actually feels like he can beat him than he was at any point last year.
All right, that's big. Meanwhile, Hunter holding the point lead in Pro Motocross and the 450 division. We're going to show you the SMX points now, and that's when we combine the Pro Motocross points and the Monster Energy Supercross points together. And this would be the seeding as we go into our 3 playoff rounds, playoffs and World Championship in September. Jet Lawrence, who won the Supercross title already, has a big gap over Chase Sexton. Credit to Jason Anderson, though. Third overall.
Yeah, Jason, we've been talking about the top 3, the big 3 you want to say, but Jason's been around really good all year long. I mean, obviously he's 3rd in the points right here in the combined SMX championship, but yeah, I mean, just that level of those top 3 is just a little different right now.
Yeah, they are starting to put time into everyone else. So that's the 450 story. Now let's show you the 250 highlights. 250s from the WIC 338, SMX World Championship and Pro Motocross. Hayden Degan, a huge start in Moto 1.
Hayden Degan did exactly what he wanted to do. A lot of talk about sand and not being able to ride sand. You could tell he was motivated coming in here, and he didn't prove us wrong. He actually proved us right. We knew he was good. He figured it out, and it was his teammate coming out from, you know, being off. His new teammate, Max Hansen, had his struggles in the first lap. Didn't even get to make a first lap. Got caught up with another rider and a bike DNF, so that was tough for Max. But the battle was on from like 2nd to 40th.
Yeah, I think
guys
so.
were going tough break. Guys collide right here. Casey Cochran ends up getting into him, and
yeah, Dylan Schwartz.
Yeah, good to see Schwartz get up and finish that moto.
Yep.
And it was Tom Vial trying to do his best to catch Hayden Degan, but he was on another level. Hayden had the flow. Tom did his best to get there, but couldn't catch him. And Jalek Swall, 30 minutes into the race, looks like he's frustrated because the bike blew up. Yeah, but he's frustrated he rode 30 minutes for nothing. And that was tough for him and the Triumph team. But it was Hayden Degan getting another moto victory and kind of a statement win, just like his other ones. But this was a big statement to me.
Yes, because last year Southwick probably his worst track. He wanted to show everyone he can ride sand, and he did in that first moto. Moto 2, Levi Kitchen going to grab the whole shot here.
Yeah, this was off the first restart. Had those guys in front, and we thought, all right, now Hayden's in 4th place. You got Tom Vial, all the fast guys, and then we saw the red flag come out. Julian Vermeer went down and had to restart it, but Levi regrouped, got the whole shot again, so it was nice to see him back out here. Looked like he had it. He probably thought everything was going good. He heard that Yamaha come up next to him, and then here, Hayden Degan tries to do his best impression of Bubba Scrub, Bubba save. Strong power move. Probably woke him up a little bit. And you would think that the race would have been over just like it was at first moto once he got out front.
But Tom Vial then goes after Kitchen for second, does not want Degan to get away from him.
No, Tom was a lot more aggressive in the earlier part of the race than he was that first moto. So he knew he wanted to go out there. Hayden got the jump on him. And this was the moment of the race. Hayden goes down here. Tom was closing in. Hayden just loses the front end, goes down. And then Tom runs off the racetrack, but is able to save the lead. And Joe Shimoda and Hayden Degan, Joe Shimoda and like Levi Kitchen moved up 2nd and 3rd.
So now Vial has the lead, and with the way he's been riding, and he won this race last year, you'd think this is over.
Yeah, we was thinking that Tom would be able to run away with it, but then Hayden Degan, this is him making his way up to Levi for 3rd place. Looked like he got up, took a couple laps, and then he really started coming, and then it kind of stalled out, and then the race was on for the lead. Joe Shimoda stayed there within Tom Vial, and I guess Tom ended up getting caught up with a lapper, which allowed Joe to close in, and he saw Hayden Degan right behind him, and Hayden wanted a piece of that action as well.
It's a battle down the stretch, so Shimoda takes the lead away from Vial. Degan is right there. Last lap, Vial wants to lead back again, but then crashes.
Yeah, this was for the overall win, so Tom needed to get back around Joe to have that overall lead, so I think he was trying to go up the inside, but we've been talking about how slippery this track was all day, and it caught Tom out, but he lost the race when he got caught up with those lappers and not been able to get away.
So Joe Shimoda takes his first moto win of the year, but he only finished 9th in Moto 1 because he fell early. Degan's 1-2, more than enough to win and prove he can get it done in the sand. Saying, what do you got to say now? And there's his dad, and he did it the same way he's doing it all year. The strength down the stretch, the endurance, it's unbelievable what he's doing.
Yep, his mindset he knows if he's within 10 seconds, those guys are going to be in trouble all race long, and they know it as well.
This is the overall results from today. Vial and Shimoda 2nd and 3rd behind Degan. Hymas and Jordan Smith round out the top 5. Savachi, Kitchen, Masterpool, Pierce Brown, Casey Cochran round out the top 10 here in the sand of the Wick. So Degan, this was the one track that I guess too many people said he might have a weakness on, because all that did was fire him up. Vial's going to start saying, stop saying things about Degan, everybody.
I know, right? Yeah, I mean,
bulletin board material.
Yeah, well, the championship shows you how strong and stranglehold Hayden does have, a 42-point lead. And to me, it seems bigger than that. Just mentally and how he's riding with purpose. And as I said earlier, I mean, the guy rides like he comes for nothing, and he's riding like he's behind in the point. Every point matters, and especially who it is when it comes to Tom Vial and these guys. He doesn't want anybody to have a chance, and he's showing them every moto, and that's why he has that big lead.
So Degan has won every overall but one, and you could argue that the one he didn't win at High Point was his best race of the year because he had big comebacks in both motos and ended up going 1-2. It's interesting, though, that bulletin board material. He heard everyone saying that last year this was his worst race. He put in the work. He came here 2 days last week to learn the track, and with his endurance and a track this rough, all came together.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did. You got to give credit to him to realize that, and you knew he was. I mean, I think Hayden understands in his mindset, if he came in here and won this race, it was going to be a big confidence, booster, one, for him, but just for everyone else, I think they would kind of lose a little bit of hope. And I know Tom only lost 5 points today to Hayden, but I think for mindset and really feeling like you can go after this championship, now he's probably hoping that Hayden has a mistake and something happens to him, because it was a big blow to Tom. Yeah, and you listen to Hayden, he's probably like, I don't know why y'all even question me. But, I mean, look, this was your worst finish last year. You got 410, but you came back and dominated these guys. And to me, that's just impressive. You don't have to say anything. I mean, you wasn't as good. You came back, and you were the best one here today. So there ain't nothing else to say.
You know, in Monster Energy Supercross, I think this was the year 2 leap that everyone thought we'd get from Degan. It wasn't. It was better. It wasn't this big of a jump. Remember, he did start the year hurt. This is the year 2 jump in motocross.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all these guys, they're just more familiar, but I want to say it's more about circumstance. I think the way things play out helps a lot of these guys, because we see guys get confidence. I mean, each race, lap by lap, you see what just happened with Chase Sexton. All these guys are so good that they get confidence, and all of a sudden they go 10 seconds faster than Jet Lawrence. So to me, that first moto allowed, the first race allowed Hayden to get going, and then he got rolling, and that's what you're looking at right now.
That's what they're all looking at. Let me give you the SMX combined point standings in a moment. SMX, that's our playoffs and World Championship finals fueled by Monster Energy. We'll race in Concord, North Carolina. That is ZMAX Dragway, part of the Charlotte Motor Speedway Complex on September 7th. Fort Worth, Texas, that is Texas Motor Speedway on September 14th. And then the finale at the Strip in Las Vegas, the Drag Strip, part of Las Vegas Motor Speedway, September 21st. So the combined points from both Monster Energy Supercross and Pro Motocross look like this. 34 points is the gap now between Degan and Levi Kitchen. Tom Viel closing in from 3rd. Kitchen had the lead when this began. He had the most points of any of the active riders from Supercross, because RJ Hampshire, 250 West Supercross champ, has not raced Pro Motocross yet. He's out with a wrist injury. So now we go into Redbud. I don't know what obstacles are left for Hayden Degan in the 250 class. I got to say, though, Viel kept it pretty positive on the podium, kept saying it was a good race for him, a good race. We had Shimoda get his first moto win of the year. He's starting to come on strong. So there's still signs, although I don't know if Degan maybe believes there are for these other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Tom needs to go out there like, I mean, he's got me. He's got me. Then
okay.
Hayden to start worrying about somebody else. But right now, he's all focused in on Tom. And of course, I think Tom, he has the right mindset to be able to have this happen to him and still continue to fight, because he is like that on the podium, because he doesn't go up and down. He's not so emotional. He can feel like there's still hope. But Hayden right now, I mean, he's really taken these guys and put a stranglehold on this class, and he did it today, and he's been doing it all year long. So, man, if they don't do something next week and hope something else happens, we're going to be talking about, like, let's get into playoffs and see what happens then.
Yeah, could be a long season for the rest of these guys. Let's send it to our reporters. We'll have Adam C. and Cerillo in a moment. But first, Jason Thomas will get another report from the Lawrence camp with someone who definitely knows a thing or two about racing out here and their program. JT?
That's right, Jason. Johnny O'Mara, you've been such a big part of this program, and it's such a big part of the winning that's gone on here. But with a Jet Lawrence who's not 100%, he can't really do all the things, I'm assuming, throughout the week that you'd like him to be doing, but he's also trying to win another 450 Pro Motocross Championship. So how do you manage that through his training programs? Are you still having him ride the same amounts, or how do you manage that training so he is his best self on Saturdays?
Yeah, we're trying to definitely have him do just about as much as he was doing, but he was limited for sure with the shoulder and the lat injury in the back. So we have had some days where he should have been on the bike if he was healthy, but we had to pull back and let him rest. So the body has definitely took a beating, but he's still been able to come out here and win. It's pretty impressive. Right there alone, he's using a lot of his leg muscles, which are probably, like, I don't want to say like they're weak, but they're definitely taking an extra load on them, and they get a little flat there towards the end. With Chase coming as hard as he was, he really didn't have anything for it. He's not going to throw away another moto with points, so he just had to give him the extra 3 points up there, but still got the overall. And yeah, we're getting kind of past. We figured this race would be one of the toughest on him because of Southwick. Everyone knows, got to stand the sand, the G-force, all that. So it took a beating on him for sure.
So how do you know, the racing puts such a toll on these guys and the travel, but you also need to train throughout the week so you maintain that fitness all the way through an 11-round series. And then we have 3 Super Motocross playoff rounds to worry about as well. So how do you think about that? Because if you take too much time off, you really start to suffer as the weeks and months go on. So are you thinking about what he's going to look like in September if you take too much time off now?
Yeah, it's a daily decision-making thing. It's so gnarly at this level. So obviously I've been with the boys for 5 years, so I know them pretty well and what they can handle and what I put in them in that amount of time. So they've got an insane base as far as their training workload. So and this is expected. The sport's brutal, so we're going to have an injury here or there. And I'm just extremely satisfied that they can still come out and look what Hunter's doing, and then Jet being able to still win, being like where he lost 25 points at Hangtown. So yeah, it's a fine line for sure, but we're daily on that, like what we can do on the amount of motos, duration, off the bike stuff with weights and training, and the bicycle or running stuff. So it's complex, but you know, it is my job and I'm pretty good at it. So I'm already thinking about next week, or you know, recovering tomorrow and what we can do before Redbud.
Well, congratulations. I know you have to be proud of all their success.
Very proud. Thank you.
We'll send it over to Adam Cirillo.
Yeah, and one thing I think is really important takeaway from today is obviously Jet Lawrence is managing an injury. He's not at his best, but Chase is using this time to build confidence, just getting around Jet, even if he was taking it easy or whatever, getting around him, having those flashes of dominance like Hangtown, like today, it's going to feel like a win for him. And over the past year or so, Jet has done a lot of consistent winning. And as a competitor, when you see your main competitor always up there, as great as Jet is, in Chase's mind, maybe he's almost invincible. So just seeing some chinks in the armor for Jet, I think it can open Chase up mentally, and we're really just waiting to see that consistent, dominant, kind of attacking offensive mentality from Chase Sexton. But clearly, he has the ability to run with Jet on his best day.
Yeah, thanks, Adam, and welcome aboard, by the way. It was cool to have you as part of our show. We'll have you back at Budds Creek later in the year. Here's the Parts Unlimited upcoming schedule. That is Redbud next Saturday. Everyone going to be managing the recovery because they all went deep physically this weekend in the sand of Southwick. Race day live qualifying coverage on Peacock at 10 a.m. We'll start the motos at 1 o'clock. Peacock and the SMX Video Pass. Of course, you can watch all of those. And we'll have a 450 moto coverage at 2 o'clock Eastern on NBC. So tell your friends to tune in and see what SMX and Pro Motocross are all about. Yeah, that's really it. We did not see Sexton make a pass really on Jet Lawrence last year. No matter how the circumstances are, he still got it done. And you can see Johnny O'Mara. He's serious about this the whole time. You worked with him in the past. He never stops thinking about the next stage, the next stage.
No, and Johnny knows. I mean, he understands what's going on. He knows his riders are not at peak performance, but Johnny didn't make no excuses right there either. He knows that, hey, look, it doesn't matter. My boys got base, so they shouldn't be out tired. But at the same time, I know, like, hey, his legs are not feeling good. Chase Sexton was just on a different level. We didn't have anything for him. But that doesn't mean like he's expecting to get beat next weekend. He just knows, like, hey, this is what happened today. We're going to move on. And, man, it's going to be a great season already. We're halfway through it. It's going to be even better. I'm looking forward to watching it. Won't be there next week. I need a recovery break.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll be back in a couple of weeks, but it's going to be good to tune in on NBC and watch you guys.
Yeah, we'll bring Ricky Carmichael back in the booth. I don't know how many people predicted we'd go to the centerpiece of Pro Motocross at Redbud and have 3 points between 3 riders. It has been that good this year, and the legend of Hayden Degan starting to build with another epic comeback to dig out an overall win. You know the fans are going to be cheering for him next weekend as well. Great to have Adam C. and Cerillo as part of the broadcast this weekend. Thanks to Jason Thomas and James Stewart. I'm Jason Wygant. See you next Saturday at Redbud.